Welcome to the Football Yanks podcast. Yeah, we're American, but we're talking about soccer here. Hosts Derek, Ryan, and Luke are all football fanatics, tracking our fellow Yanks in the EPL and abroad. Enjoy today's episode.
Welcome back. It's EPL Week 21, Part 2. Yeah, 21 and a half. We're the Football Yanks. I'm Ryan. I'm joined by Derek and Luke. 2 weeks in a row with the whole crew here.
Let's go.
Derek and I are, we're going to sound a little different today. We're traveling. We're both, we're in Park City doing some skiing, snowboarding. I got jacked up on day one. I caught an edge on my board, and Luke was just asking how it was going. I think Derek's fine. I am in the hurt box. I caught my edge at like probably 35, 40 miles an hour and did a full backflip and a half, catching my board once again, and then it just snapped my whole body back into the ground. And if I didn't have a helmet on, I would have been a vegetable. I hit with so much force.
So
my neck has been killing
there
me.
And laugh, or did he help you up?
I didn't see it happen because Ryan was full send down the mountain, and I was like, "This is a weird place for somebody to take a rest." And my cousin was like, "Did you see this guy eat it?" And I was like, "No, I didn't see anything because the two of you were half a mile down the mountain already."
Derek's going down on his skis, side to side, nice and easy. Brian just plow.
Yeah, one of my it's to my detriment, and then in cases can be sort of a superpower, is I don't tend to have a lot of self-preservation instincts, and so that's useful when you're in your mid to late 30s and are picking up snowboarding for the first time, but not useful when you have a lot of undue confidence about your abilities. I guess so. I was leading the group down the mountain because I think I'd done the run already or something, and so I was showing the direction. And we got to a fork on the run, and I was trying to look over my shoulder at which direction to go at speed, and just bailed hard. It's the hardest I've ever fallen in, I guess, 3 years of snowboarding by a lot.
So you snowboard, yeah. Derek, do you ski? Actually, I just was imagining you as a skier, which might not be fair.
Yeah, I ski.
Good shit. I was right. So
you can tell he's a skier just by looking at him.
Oh man, I would be more scared of Derek going down a hill, total 100% plowing down than you, to be honest. I don't know why. I feel like you might wrap yourself around me, and Derek would just I don't know, a hole would be through my sternum or something.
Derek's shockingly.
Yeah, I can't explain my sense of my need for self-control and self-preservation because, you would think it'd be just,
This is my first time, I guess, doing winter sports with Derek. He is a, shockingly subdued skier. I imagined his attitude on the slopes to be akin to his attitude playing soccer, but it's not at all. He's more of a controlled skier. We did see one skier. We were on a lift, and it was this dude's controller disconnected or something, and he just skis pointed down the mountain, just ate it harder than I did. Derek called it a yard sale. All his shit flew off of him. His skis were all over the place. I don't know. So not my wreck was not the hardest fall we've seen on this trip. But yeah, it was close. It's a close second, I think.
Glad you survived.
How have you been, man? What have you been up to? It's been shitty and cold in Baltimore. We got a bunch.
It's been kind of nice. We want some snow. It makes the whole seasonal depression thing feel like it's worth it. So it was nice to get a little bit of snow. Took the dog out, had a nice time. I'm selling, I work during the day. I work as a, whiskey salesperson. So I've been driving around a lot more in Maryland, and that's kind of interesting when it's like snowing a bunch out, but it's been good. I have not been busting my ass skiing, which is good.
Yeah. We had to drive to the airport that morning, like last Friday. And it was mayhem. It was like the state didn't salt or do any preventative measures to the road. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I would not give Maryland toll marks for their disposal of snow, but it's all good. I live in the Midwest long enough; it doesn't bother me, so it's been good. Can't complain. Soccer's been canceled again and again and again, and I'm looking forward to weekends that don't suck in regards to the Premier League calendar. This was
not a good weekend.
Couple weekends in a row. Last week was better because Spurs and Chelsea and some better teams played, but like the City Newcastle was last weekend, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That was fun.
I've lost all connection to like time, obviously, but yeah. Pretty good, hanging in there. I got to tell you guys, I went skiing up in Lake Tahoe a couple weeks ago, which makes me sound like I've gone skiing. This is my first time skiing, and I know exactly how you feel. I'm sorry that you're in pain.
Yeah. I thought I was over this. The last time, earlier in the season, Shannon and I went to Steamboat, and I was like, oh, I'm over the part where I feel like I feel beat up doing this. Like I thought I had ascended to the part where it was sort of effortless, and this trip I immediately just wrecked myself. I've been working on my lower back ever since, type thing. But
I think it's also you use muscles that you would not normally use, so there's always going to be some soreness, but falling is definitely you can just be like Derek. Just take your time, sing little songs in your head as you slowly go down the hill in your skis.
I was in the double blacks this morning, all right?
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do.
Yeah. He was.
I went to the summit this morning. Wasn't my idea, but I went.
No, I believe you. But I just imagine Derek is effortless, kind of like Ryan wants to be.
I don't think it's effortless, but it's more controlled.
Depends on
the only reason I don't think it's effortless is because like half the days like, oh God, my knees, like so I don't know. I think it's taking a toll, but God, which one of these bullshit games we just watched Brighton Wolves today. Did you catch that, Luke?
I watched the highlights and about 20 minutes of the actual gameplay. It was okay. Like it was, Gary O'Neill deserves a huge amount of credit, I think, for how that Wolves team approaches games. Brighton kind of just didn't have the quality today. It was okay. Yeah, I think it was a good summation of all the games, really. It was just like, it was great, but without any real cutting edge to the game. There's never any like jeopardy.
What, what I watched, I mean, I watched part of it, then I ate lunch with these guys, and then I watched like the last 15 minutes. I thought this game was really boring. Like, it didn't feel like Wolves came to like play with Brighton. And
just like that.
Man of the match on Who Scored is Van Hickey. So like a defender got man of the match.
Again, not the stakes is the question there. I just didn't feel the stakes in the game. Brighton definitely a better footballing side, but like again, you can't fault Wolves for that's a big point for Wolves. Brighton's really a team that should be beating Wolves, especially with this, like you'd think under this manager with the kind of budget they had. But yeah, Wolves stick in it by tying these kinds of games, I think.
Yeah, they seemed. I was excited about this game because I thought Wolverhampton had started putting in some like pretty good performances recently. Maybe I was like incorrect in that.
Well, I think for a team like Wolves against a team like Brighton, that's the kind of performance away from home, especially against a team that they shipped 5 goals the last time they played at home against, last time they were at Brighton.
Okay.
So, like, I think this is the kind of Wolves performance we've seen. I think their counterattacking ability is really pretty. They're a good counterattacking team, but when the final touch isn't there, they look really, really average.
Yeah.
Yeah, because from their point of view, they got a point, right? And that's good news. From Brighton's point of view, a point's just not. It's disappointing, right?
Yeah,
and that's kind of where this one stands, finishing 0-0 with no goals from anyone.
That's what I'm saying. Even the Arsenal Palace game at 5-0 was, I felt like, just as exciting as this game, though I watched more of the Arsenal Palace game, I'll admit. On Brighton, I will say so Estupiñán on the left side, right?
Yeah.
He's a left fullback. The right side of Brighton looked really, really weak. Like Wolves got in quite a few times. Makes sense because the Wolves are playing with some higher kind of wingback type players, Matt Doherty and whoever the fuck's on the other side. They got in on the right side quite often. So yeah, I thought that was like the most telling thing from the whole dynamic was that Brighton, not that great defensively, especially in transition. I don't think Brighton are very good right now. I'd say the same thing about Brighton that you said about Wolves, Ryan.
Yeah. I think they usually have Lamptey over there, right? Lamptey's been injured for a while.
Oh, I think Lamptey might have played in this game, though. I think he might have subbed on. Yeah. I vaguely remember hearing him playing about him playing.
Oh, he did sub on.
Yeah. Yeah. He played. Yeah, I think he played like one cross in.
Huh. Yeah. I'm trying to think who normally plays on that right side for them. I know Lamptey has been injured a bit this season, so maybe he's finding fitness. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with that side of the pitch for them. But yeah, Estupiñán has been kind of a monster since he came back.
Not that there's a great record of Brighton fullbacks going to other teams and doing really, really well. Estupiñán looks like a player who could play at pretty much any club in the world and succeed.
Yeah, it kind of hurts because Cucurella was there.
Yeah, that's exactly who I'm referring to.
Yeah.
And the most exciting thing Cucurella's done is gotten his hair pulled by Christian Romero.
He's Cucurella's injured now too. He had to have ankle surgery or something.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That was boring.
Did you guys watch all of Bournemouth and Liverpool?
We did last night.
What'd you guys think?
Derek, what do you think of this?
I think whatever rating we're giving Diego Jota is overrated. Though his second goal was, I'll say, world class. I got to give it to him on that one. He's with performances like that, he's quickly approaching Harvey Elliott territory in terms of domination. Napoleon would be
Derek
proud
has
of both of them.
Unexplainable hatred for.
Yeah, dude, you're out of your fucking mind. Man, Jota's fucking good, man.
He's a baller. You should have heard the other two.
Sorry.
Good.
He's just so understated. Like, there's a lot of Derek's out there on the Jota question, I feel like. And dude's a machine. Like, he's not a super flair-driven player, but his positioning, especially in a transition with a team like Liverpool, is so fucking good. And his finishing ability is obviously amazing as well.
Yep. Yeah. He what was that noise? I think Derek's vibrator just went off. What was that?
Different recording location, guys.
So now we want you. So, what have you been doing during these recordings? Oh no.
There's a much safer environment at home,
Yeah. Dude, he's in this basement here surrounded by ducks. So yeah. Anyway, you should have heard
ducks, yeah.
you should have heard the reaction to the people were at this this Airbnb with, I guess. When I revealed that Derek hates Diogo Jota, they were collectively like, "What? How?" Yeah, I think it's just because he's short. Is that what it
honestly
comes down
it's
to?
part of it, but I mean, like, I just don't like his face. I think it's the real problem. But
can you describe what your issues with his face are, please?
it's punchable. Like I see it on TV, and I want to knock his teeth out. And I don't know. Probably something needs to be, unraveled in therapy rather than here. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, after we wrap this week up, I will have a list to provide you.
Of things that we should prioritize in therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I mean, in all seriousness,
yeah.
I do agree Diego Jota is playing well for Liverpool. I mean, I just dislike him personally. I think he's a good soccer player. The second goal was lucky, like he whiffed on it. But the first goal, he did well, like you said, to get himself in that position where he was, because it's not easy to get that open in the 18. And then placing the ball where he did. I mean, that's a world-class finish. I don't think Nunez would put it in there, although, I guess he did have a...
Nunez also had a great game.
Yeah.
I just want Jota to bring the video game celebration back. Like, I don't like the new celebration. The one where he sits down and, like, pretends he's playing on a controller. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, the stupid Bible celebration, I mean, what does that even mean anyways?
I see you, Derek.
Yeah.
I see you, Derek.
Oh, cool.
Come punch me, bitch.
It's him. Yeah, it's him scoping out the haters.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Now we all know.
This is for all the haters out there.
Nunez also, like, another player people kind of love to hate. 2 goals. Still pretty wasteful, to be fair, but
yeah, I like Nunez. He's just mayhem. As like a neutral watcher I guess as a Chelsea fan, I'm supposed to hate Liverpool, but when I watch we're just so uncompetitive right now. When I watch their games, I'm basically a neutral.
I think there's so much upside to that dude's athletic ability.
He's just a randomizer.
Yeah.
Like the ball goes to his feet and a dice it's rolled, and like who the fuck knows what's gonna happen? Like anything could happen,
Yeah. 30th row or bottom 90.
Yeah, or like he'll just like get a straight red, or it could be anything. And like he's working under, a top 3 manager. And Klopp has been unable to iron that shit out of his game and like make him more consistent. But for me, it's fun. It's fun to watch him play.
Entirely. Huge credit to Klopp too for this team.
Yeah, McAllister had a great game. It was just a strong performance all around. How do you feel about Harvey Elliott, Luke?
I think he's a good footballer. He's academy grown, so he doesn't like fit the bill of an expensive signing. So I think he gets a little too much shit. Same thing with Curtis Jones. I think both are really quality players. I rate Curtis Jones a little bit more than Harvey Elliott. But in terms of a player coming through the academy who can play in that kind of number 8 position, I think he's a great player. I don't like that he's sponsored by New Balance. Like, I fucking don't know why people would wear New Balance soccer cleats. But other than that, like, nothing bad to say about him. We used to like stamp on players when they had Under Armour cleats.
I didn't even know.
We'd just step on. We'd step on Under Armour cleats all day long. It was so funny.
I didn't even know New Balance
made
cleats.
I think New Balance is the perfect tier of cleat for Harvey Elliott.
I think that Raheem Sterling is sponsored by New Balance as well.
That fits the bill as well.
It's probably the perfect tier for Sterling too. Yeah,
and your favorite Skechers sponsors Harry Kane. No shit.
Skechers. Yeah, I remember. I remember coveting Skechers cleats when I played.
Imagine that's like they made that cleat for Harry Kane. How much that dude is getting paid for that fucking sponsorship.
I gotta see this. Like all I know of Skechers is that they make,
I don't even think Skechers sells that cleat. It's just sponsored. Like
yeah, it doesn't look. Does Kane wear Skechers?
Yes, he wears Skechers.
I thought you meant he was sponsored by them and like wore them casually. You mean he actually has cleats that have Skechers on them?
Yeah, I don't know which one he wears though.
Dude, he signed a lifetime global deal with Skechers.
Well, they're going to be out of business in a couple of years, so
dude is going to make so much money.
Harry Kane laces up with Skechers in his new SKX01 football.
What I don't get is I've never met anyone that wears Skechers, but yet somehow they do well. Like there's a store by where I live. I don't get it.
I thought like 70-year-olds and like nurses who were on their feet all the time wore Skechers, and
little
that
children.
was
maybe that's it.
Kids wear Skechers all the time.
I've just always thought of them as being in like competition with Crocs, basically.
Yeah.
I'm currently wearing Crocs, okay? So fuck off.
Yeah.
Nobody's
well, I mean,
surprised,
you do you. Yeah.
Just for inside.
Oh, man. What's this podcast about?
It's part 2 of something.
Yeah, well, that was Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 0. Bournemouth, I was a little surprised that they were... Is that your cat just popping off?
She has
this is going to be a nightmare to edit, guys.
She has something to say about Bournemouth and Liverpool, all right? You want to listen?
Yeah, Bournemouth really... I thought that they were playing well recently and expected them not to win this match, but to at least, like, maybe get on the score sheet or trouble Liverpool at times. But this is a pretty comfortable win for Liverpool.
Yeah, once you see the weather in that game, you think it's going to be rough for Liverpool. I thought it was a really good opportunity for like a draw with Bournemouth for Bournemouth to get a point. But yeah, Liverpool just fucking dominant.
Yeah. So Liverpool still number 1 on the table. City with a game in hand and 5 points behind. So that's the state of things. Let's just transition over to Arsenal. So Arsenal beat the absolute shit out of Palace 5-0. And yeah, I don't know. Martinelli scored the same goal twice.
This game was over by the 60th minute, basically.
Crystal Palace are just like in cruise control. Like they're just like in neutral, driving down a slight decline. Just like, okay, there's really lethargic team, man. I hope Roy Hodgson doesn't get fired, but the team should be better.
He's going to get fired.
Did you see the fans unfurling like the biggest, like most verbose banner I've ever seen unfurled in the game?
I saw that.
I did not.
Did you? Yeah, like it says like wasted talent and wasted time and something. Let's see.
Time for whoever to go. I think it called out they call it the owner and the manager.
I think so.
Wasted potential on and off the pitch. Weak decisions taking us backward.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that ownership has brought that team through the championship at least for a number of years. You know, they had a lot of talent come through that team as they as they went up. But there is a lot of talent in that team. Elise and Elise. Is it Elise and I can never say them both. Eze, I think I can never say them together for some reason. A lot of talent, but it's just I think that this summer they should have let Roy Hodgson go and found another manager, because this was exactly what was going to happen, especially with three teams that seem like they're obviously going to fall off the table. And maybe that'll change with Nottingham Forest and at whatever point deduction they get, as well as Everton, if that happens. But like it's just a team in standstill at the moment, unfortunately, because they're not scared of going down. They're not going to go, anywhere up the table. It's just like keep our position and fucking have a holiday or something. I don't know. The team just looks so boring.
Well, I think that's exactly why the fans are frustrated, right? It's just stagnant completely. Yeah. And then to see put forth an effort that's lacking in effort completely, and just get trounced. Yeah, it's frustrating.
And Elise was injured, right?
Yeah, Elise was.
I don't think he was on the
Eze was on the left side, I think. On the other side, Arsenal looking good after going to, did they go Saudi Arabia for like a few days, train together. Really could be smart management by Mikel Arteta. What's his name? Ben White looking like a fucking piece of toast. That dude is so fucking tan, man. Holy tits.
But that dude goes to Donald Trump's spray tan salon.
Dude, they log the same exact hour amounts. You think he has like a little heart on his ass that's just white as fuck?
It's actually just the Playboy logo. Yeah, he is. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that guy, but I can tell by looking at him that he has nothing but yes men in his inner circle. Like, he doesn't have friends who are like, hey, like, nobody thinks this is cool, dude.
You might get skin cancer. Like, even if he's not going in.
Oh, I assume that shit's sprayed on.
Well,
I honestly assume it's a spray tan. It's so unnatural looking.
Fair enough. Yeah. But if it's not a spray tan, I imagine the amount of time he's spending in the sun versus a tanning bed. He's going to get fucking skin cancer anyway.
Yeah. Like, you should see people go in on him on Twitter. They're like, what tropical part of London has Ben White found?
He's a good player. Like he does well for the team, but damn, man.
Is he? He's like another former Brighton product, right? I think so.
Oh, could be. That wouldn't be surprising. Probably played center back wherever he's been before.
Yeah, he was at.
Yeah, Brighton.
I don't know. Yeah,
he began at Brighton. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's lots of loans at Leeds United. Maybe that season they came up. I think the season they came up, but yeah, good for him.
Dude, Brighton are unparalleled in their ability to identify talent.
Yeah.
What's crazy about this match? So Arsenal 5, Crystal Palace 0. Roy Hodgson almost certainly being sacked at some point, maybe before the end of the season, but I can't imagine them keeping him past this season. But according to Who Scored, they have Jesus as the man of the match, who did not score. I mean, he was super involved, but he did not get on the score sheet.
Yeah, Arsenal need number 9. There's no doubt about it. There's a reason Jesus did not start every game at Manchester City and why they were willing to sell him. And it's kind of played out, actually, this season more than last. And Nketiah is not going to score that many goals. They need a number 9, Arsenal, to kind of move forward. I don't know if they have money for it under the FFP, but they need it.
It doesn't seem that they do. It doesn't seem that there's a lot of money changing hands
anywhere.
Period. This transfer window. It's like a very muted transfer window. But with that said, it's almost a perfect transition to Brentford 3, Forest 2. So Ivan Toney, his first game back with Brentford, he gets on the score sheet, and this is a guy who was heavily linked with Arsenal as a potential number 9 fill for them. And Luke said that his hot take, you said this like 3 months ago, was that Brentford would not sell him in January. And yeah, it appears that he will not be sold. Beyond the goal, so it was a controversy. Did you see all the controversy around the goal?
I did, and I have opinions about it, but I'd like to hear your guys' first.
Is that a cue for
one,
me?
I think the wall sucked, and
yeah, Matt Turner really doesn't.
Yeah,
do well
go
with
ahead,
the wall,
go ahead, Derek.
I mean, I don't know how
Turner
much of it
is
was
trash.
Turner's fault, or well, I mean, Turner's trash. I don't know if the whole wall situation's fault. I guess I don't. Somebody would have to explain. I'm not that familiar with the rules because I was never the person taking free kicks other than an indoor. So I know it's a big shock to everybody. So I don't know how much you can move it after you set it down. But again, the guys are in the wall or watching this happen too, right? So
absolutely.
To me, it's only so nefarious, and ultimately it should be enforced as the rules are written and it applied consistently, and I just don't know what that is, but I feel like I see guys moving it around a good bit.
So the rule, if I remember it, so the ref draws a half circle where the ball is supposed to be, and then you're allowed to move it. I think they say up to a foot, or it couldn't be a foot. I don't know what the rule, because they wouldn't have a rule in feet in the UK, but you're allowed to move it a little bit. This was obviously planned out because members of Brentford grabbed the ref to distract him from what Tony was doing. So they had a complaint and were distracting the ref while Tony moved the not just the ball, but he also brushed the chalk toward the ball.
Made the line bigger.
He made the line bigger. Yeah. So it was obvious. It was very calculated, and I think I have basically no sympathy for Forrest not reacting to the ball being moved around in front of them. That's a little bit brain dead. But
Agreed.
The rules are that he shouldn't have been able to move it that far, and that feels like an easy thing to check. If we check goalies coming off the line on PKs, then that should be an easy thing to verify after the fact and be like, no, dude, you can't fuck around with this. But
I think if you're going to bring the guy out to the Undertaker theme song after he got suspended for gambling, I'd say let the guy do whatever the hell he wants. Because that's badass as shit.
Beyond this goal, he looked incredible.
He changes that team. He changes that
dude,
team.
He was the man of the match. He was involved in everything.
His
he drops deep.
Is good.
Yeah, he was so good. Before we talk about that, what's your take on this?
As a fan, I'm fucking it's super entertaining. I kind of love that kind of bullshitting, whatever you want to call it. I like that little edge to stretch the rules. It gives me the feeling of there's this competitive edge, and I really like that in a football match, right? So I don't blame Tony at all. I think he is entitled to do with whatever within his ability and the rules or not to win the game, right? So I don't really blame him. I'm into it. Fuck yeah. But Turner needs to be way more active about a situation like that and be much more aware of where the ball is at all times, and does not instruct his wall to move. And in general, if you look at before the free kick's taken, the wall's not in a great position anyway. It's not really the right angle, and it's not far enough over to start with. Also, the defenders need to take more account of themselves and see where the ball is, how it's playing live, right? Call another teammate over, just move over. So there's a huge issue. But I think coming back to what you said, Ryan, rightfully brought up, if VAR isn't going to check that to the letter of the law, then what the fuck is it doing in the game at all?
Yeah.
Like that's the real
that
question
would
here.
take seconds to check.
Yeah. It is. He deliberately bent the rules, but he broke the rules in order to gain a competitive advantage, and it was a clear and obvious error by the ref to not see that, right? And that's not just the center ref; that's also the assistant referee. And
this is splitting hairs, but I can't.
But if they're gonna split hairs, then they have to.
Well, no. I'm saying this is splitting hairs, but I can't call that bending the rules. Like, if he's like brushing the chalk toward the ball, like he's just breaking the he's like knowingly breaking the rule.
I understand. But, I'm just giving into my like desire to see that kind of edge in a football match.
It is fun as a fan. Yeah,
exactly.
But I saw
entertainment.
I saw that Forrest complained, and I'm like, I get it. You know,
I also
VAR goes over everything.
Too. Yeah. I appreciate they didn't go after the integrity of the game like Liverpool and Arsenal did. I appreciated they say, tell us what the rule is. And they still haven't come up with an answer, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So beyond the goal, like the drama around that goal, Tony was just he's just so good. Holy fuck, was he good? Yeah. The rumors were that he was totally banned for a while, and then at some point he was allowed to play with their youth team, and the rumors were that like he was just eating them alive. Like
he was.
It was like, but you were hearing crazy shit. Like he played like a 45-minute friendly with the youth squad and scored 9 goals. Apparently he was just like beating up on these kids, dying to get back on the field, and then man, he showed it.
Give that dude motivation, he'll fucking kill you. He's got that. He's got that edge to him, you know.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
good for the Hudson-Odoi, I thought looked good.
He looked great assist.
Yeah, Danio's goal was crazy. That that finish was nuts. Fun game. This was a fun game.
Huge win for Brentford. They've been really in a kind of malaise lately, like not a little bit. They've been a little bit in like the Crystal Palace boat of kind of just like getting in a little bit of a neutral. But they had dropped 4 in a row. Yeah, Ivan Toney coming into the team could really provide a galvanizing force in the locker room, on the pitch. I'm really excited to see how they go on now, especially if what's his name, Burmo or comes back, their second striker. The team's a whole different outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest has some pieces that played well in this game. They just don't have enough pieces at this point. And aside from Turner playing like crap, their defense isn't good enough either.
Well, how the fuck is Chris Wood starting on a fucking Premier League level?
He's been on a tear lately, but I mean,
he's still not good enough.
He should be a backup. But I mean, I think you're right. It's problematic that he's the best they have. I don't think that position is the problem in this team at the moment. But
yeah, I like Morgan Gibbs White a lot. There's a lot of parts of that team that I think are really strong. Except they're
I hope Slonina starts coming along, because the more I watch Turner in the PL, the more terrified I get about him being the first choice keeper for the US team.
Yeah, he's just. This is like, I think this is like, since we're like, the Yanks football posse.
Like,
I think like we should talk about Turner, right? Like, are there not better options in the pool? I don't know. I'm not super deep on the goalkeeping pool in the U.S. men's national team right now, but he can't be it at a major tournament to get us to.
So Gaga Slamina is like a very highly rated youth product out of Chicago Fire, who's on loan somewhere. Gabriel.
He was playing somewhere where I think where I looked earlier in the season, he was just getting pummeled, which isn't necessarily bad if you're trying to be a goalkeeper.
Yeah, but anyway, so he's. I don't even know who this is. Yupin? The Belgian Pro League. Okay. That has not come across my desk in Football Manager.
Horvath is proven himself to be like a pretty consistent presence in the championship.
Yeah. And Zach Steffen.
Zach Steffen. I think Zach Steffen is probably a better goalkeeper with less attributes that or like personality attributes that Berhalter doesn't like for some reason, but I don't know. I think Matt Turner's just very unwieldy. He doesn't look like he's in control, and it's so important for a goalkeeper to be in control at all times. But right now, I just don't know how he sees a future in the Premier League after this season. Not to say that a championship or MLS for that matter, professional career isn't a good career, but I don't know at this level. It's just seems a little bit above his ability at the moment.
Did the other guy get injured? I thought the other guy was playing well.
No, he was playing bad. They just have bad options at goalie.
Yeah. Okay. I will say Nuno Espirito Santo is a goalkeeper. Like when he was a goalkeeper. So there is, I think there's a possibility under the current Forest manager that he could improve. But just right now, his confidence isn't there. He doesn't look in control. He looks a little bit like a U16 player playing with the U18s for the first time.
I don't think the guys in front of him were very good either. But I guess I already said that. But.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
The guy who was playing as the Greek national team keeper, his first name's like Odysseus or something. I don't know much about him.
If Matt Turner's first name is Odysseus, I'd be like, start that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. Neither of them are good though. Like Forrest just has a keeper problem among many other problems.
Many others now. Yeah.
Derek, you rated Forrest at the beginning of the season. You remember that?
Yeah.
All right. Sheffield too.
Like 10 players every year. Let's go, Sheffield.
I've made some shit calls on this podcast, but the Derek being low on Villa, high on Forest was, I think, the bad call of the season.
I will say I wasn't as high on Forest as I was low on Villa, and that was a miscalculation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheffield 2, West Ham 2, rounding out the weekend. This game got out of hand late, right? Like,
yeah,
there was a penalty.
It's never a fucking foul on McBurney. I don't really know how that's called a foul from Areola to McBurney to get that tying goal. Good for Sheffield, but I don't know how that's a penalty. And then on the reverse side, you have a foul where, like, it'll take me a second to remember, the player literally gets like tackled to the ground a few minutes later, right before the game's over, and it's not a penalty. It's kind of like,
oh yeah, I saw that.
Like, I'm glad he made the decision, but make the other one.
Amadozic?
I can't remember.
I think it was on Amadozic was like tackling. Bowen?
Yeah, I think West Ham has a pretty good reason to be. Yeah, I think it was on Bowen. Has a pretty understandable reason to feel upset, especially because VAR at no point even thought about getting involved. It's so
well, you don't want them involved.
I don't, but if it's gonna be in the game, the application has to be consistent, and it is not consistent. I'm about to bang my fucking hand against them.
I've got a lot of mixed signals from Fluke on this one.
Yeah.
Fuck VAR.
They were just
but if
they were
it's in
just
it.
taking they were just
taking the feedback.
Taking the feedback from Let's see. Anel Amadezic hits out at Joe Cole and Rio Ferdinand for claiming he fouled Jared Bowen as the Blades captain fumes. The duo are clearly biased and insist coverage of the incident has been edited to make it look like a penalty to West Ham. This Anel Amadezic is fucking brain dead. He's also president. The dude. Yeah, I know, dude. What is he? Donald Trump? Like
clearly biased.
What is this that's been edited in fucking real time? Like, are you telling me I didn't? It's the same dude who he was like the first captain since they started wearing the Pride captain's bands, like the rainbow captain armbands. He's the first one who wore the captain's armband and refused to wear it.
Get out of here.
Anel Amadezic. That is completely real.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have someone that we might start hating. Whose name, unfortunately, I can't say, though. Emil Amadovic.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Anel Amadovic gives ridiculous one-word answers to why he ditched the Pride armband.
What's the answer?
What? I'm trying to find it. It's one of those articles that should be like a sentence, but they have to fill a page.
You'd think somebody who grew up in a Balkan country would have a little more like consideration and empathy for people that are different from them, but I guess that's not really the way we're headed down there these days.
They edited it in real time. It made me look terrible.
That's fucking outrageous.
That is super sharp.
What sucks is, he's actually good. Like he's one of the best players on that team, but man, he seems really unhinged.
Oh yeah, no, but you're right. He's going to be one of the best center backs in the championship next season.
Yeah, just like he was last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheffield.
I can't find the one word.
Getting relegated. Sheffield United are pretty fucking bad, though. Like, I'm happy they got a point. Man. Like, they've got 10 of them. But, man, it's like, they're pretty bad. A little disappointing from West Ham. Like, it's not really going to ruin their season. But, like, they could have been within 3 from 5th. Instead, they're 5. But, yeah, Sheffield are bad.
Big picture, you're right, Luke. I think this is a disappointing result for West Ham. I had them. I think I need to look at my betting history from last week, but I probably missed out on some money because they missed on this leg of my parlay. But they should have been a better team in this one.
That's a bad team to drop points to. But I'd be pissed if I were them about.
Yeah, Dave Moyes is doing a good job.
How this happened?
Yeah, I think that call on Areola is just. I give it to the ref. He made a decision, but it's probably more of a foul on Areola from McBurney than it is the reverse. I also fucking hate Burney for some reason. I can't figure it out. It's like he runs like a duck, and he wears these like orange Nike cleats from like I don't know how long ago, which is fine, but it just makes him feet look bigger, so he runs more of like a duck, and he's not really that good. Like, he's not Premier League level at all, which is 90% of that team.
Neither is the team, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's doing his best, man.
Yeah.
Look at this team.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's run through some other news. I think we're at about an hour already, remarkably. About 15 minutes. All right. So let's talk Jordan Henderson. Going to Ajax. I think I read already the best-selling kit in Ajax history. He's
not even Dutch.
Yeah. So?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's
big
going
name.
on with that.
Big name to go to Ajax. Am I right about that? Hold on. Anyway, while I verify that,
I'll take a look.
He gave up all of his earnings in Saudi Arabia. The new number 6 jersey becomes Dutch club's fastest selling jersey of all time. Yeah. So I was right about that. Anyway, so yeah, Jordan Henderson, he like desperately wanted out of Saudi Arabia because nobody has rights there, and he was playing to like a crowd of 700 people, and his family was miserable. And it's not like the whole world told him that this would be an issue when he left for that league.
Except Cristiano Ronaldo, who's like publicly like, it's as good as here as in France, okay? We're as good as the Ligue 1. Like, fuck you,
that
Ronaldo.
guy.
Like, how much are you getting paid for this shit?
He's become a real whack job. I mean, he might have gone to the MLS. He might have gone to the MLS if it weren't for the fact that the minute his plane touched down here, he'd be arrested for the rape charges he's up against in the United States.
Las Vegas, I think, yeah.
Vegas, yeah. So, anyway, this the Saudi experiment, as far as I can tell, is already like starting to come apart. Karim Benzema is trying to force a move away from Saudi as well. But yeah, he'll be playing at Ajax. I think it's a great pickup for that team. It's a very young team. I mean, Ajax is always a very young team. They're a seller in the market. But yeah, having Henderson there. The rumor is that Southgate said that he needed to play at a higher level of competition for him to be able to select him for the Euros, and that was probably what forced it. But
can we unravel that joke in and of itself a little bit?
He should not be going to the Euros fucking anyway.
Yeah, agreed. I agree. But that, I guess, is that was a big forcing function for this. That and mission accomplished. He helped spread human rights to Saudi Arabia, and his work there was done.
Big impact.
The reason he told us all he was going there, he achieved all of his goals. So
next thing he's going to be comparing his stay there to Doctors Without Borders or something. He's like, they only stay somewhere for 6 months. So look at me, I was spreading love. Fucking
yeah. Apparently he forfeited all of his earnings from Saudi Arabia.
Well, he probably paid a fucking shit ton in taxes when he came back into the Euro market.
I think that's why he forfeited them. There was something about the tax implications of him coming back to Europe, and so because he just played in Saudi for free for 6 months or something close to free, and now he's back at Ajax.
His wife is never going to fucking forgive him.
Yeah. What a mess. What an unforced error. And meanwhile, how bad would it have been for him to stay at Liverpool and been a sub? He would he was a borderline legend in Liverpool for years. Not a legend, but
no, a legend. He deserves that. He won.
You think he's a legend?
He was the captain in the first Premier League.
Yeah, he was the captain.
Champions League. Got to give it to him.
Yeah, I was just trying to hedge because they had a handful of really good, Mohamed Salah is a Liverpool legend. They're going to build a fucking statue for that guy.
Not
for Hendo, especially not now. But I mean, I don't know. Why
can we have empathy for him though? Can we? He made a mistake. Yeah. It's hard.
it is hard. It's hard because of the entire archetype he created for himself. And then he just chased the bag, regardless of the human rights.
Don't these homegrown English players have to at least go to high school? It's not like they don't have any it's not like they don't have any education or understanding of the world, right?
Yeah, dude, it would be hard for me to turn down that kind of money. You wave. I don't whoever's paying me. It would be hard for me to turn
Ryan,
down.
Trust me, I take no convincing to believe that you would have a hard time.
Dude, I didn't I didn't get to make that choice.
Yes.
I hope nobody from work listens to this.
I wasn't referencing your job. You just gave that away. Anyways.
Oh, man. Speaking of...
You've lost all credibility.
Speaking of monetary exchanges, Newcastle, they're apparently selling everything that isn't bolted down. I don't know what's going on with their FFP issues, but apparently them looking like they will not be back in the Champions League and their current financial situation has forced them to attempt to be a seller right now. And so I read that Trippier was he's like been given permission to talk to Bayern Munich, and presumably Livermento would backfill him. Who's a baller. Livermento is a very good, very very good backup to have with Trippier. But so
I would
Trippier, Isak, I would sell him too. I mean he's really old, and
fallen off a cliff this season.
Yep, he's fallen off a cliff this season, and and you have a really, really good backup to him. I don't know what the depth is behind Livermento though, so like there might be an issue there. Especially Livermento has injury history, so there's that to factor in. But Isak apparently could be sold. I saw Wilson is being looked at by who was it? Italy.
For some reason,
Milan. I think it was Milan.
For some reason, I also heard Arsenal might look at Callum Wilson, but that might.
Okay. I mean, that'd be smart.
Yeah.
The issue with Isak and Wilson is they both have like a storied history of injury. Yeah. But Wilson, I think, is being looked at by Milan. What's his name? Who else is on Newcastle? Anyway, they're looking to sell. Oh yeah, there was one of them has been given the okay to talk to Saudi. Almiron.
Almiron. Yeah, I did hear that. That's right.
Yeah,
I think that the clubs in the Premier League are fucking pissing their pants with what happened to Everton, and they're pissing their pants that Nottingham Forest and Everton were both just charged again.
That's fair.
I think teams are just starting to freak out a little bit. Because if Newcastle gets a 15-point deduction or something, I don't really know. They could be really quickly in the bottom, half the table, away from Europe.
It's got to be scary to have less than 110 charges against you because you know you're going to get penalized.
Yeah, dude, it's like you got to go big, right? Like, if you just have one FFP violation, you're going to get the book thrown at you. But if you have 110, then it's just like too much to sift through, and you get to win a treble.
Just put the Bill Clinton look on your face and shrug your shoulders.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting. The narrative around Newcastle has been that the Saudi Arabian investment fund is managing the team really well, not spending too much, but they've lost 140 million in the past 2 years, I think it was, and you can't lose more than 105 under current regulations. So if they can't move that needle, they're going to be in for a lot of fucking hurt. And now they know these commissions are going to bring points deductions.
Dude, how are they? I don't know how. I look at Chelsea, who are apparently like kosher, and I can explain that away with like the marketing power of the Chelsea brand to a degree. But like, look at how many fucking people are at Newcastle matches. And like, those fans are rabid fans of that team. Like, I just like, I don't understand I mean, I know Chelsea's more of a global brand, and that helps. But yeah, anyway, I don't understand how Chelsea can spend the way they do, and Newcastle is like really up against it.
Well, I think Chelsea are close. They're not as close as Newcastle, but I think Arsenal and Chelsea are both getting on that line as well, is what the reports that I've heard, as well as a number of clubs. I think this year the spending power of the Premier League is going to diminish, actually, because there are so many clubs who are on the edge of their balance sheets.
Yeah,
It thus makes this window so slow. One, in terms
Muted,
of transfers. And like you really do see teams trying to diversify where they're getting money from. That's you can see it all over the place. I am really interested to see how the City case comes out, because they're charged with like lying surrounding their bank statements. Moving around funds to make it appear. But all these teams haven't been lying. They've been saying, "Hey, we fucked up. We tried to make it right this way," and they still get fucked, like Nottingham Forest, right? They couldn't get the value out of Johnson until they sold him later. That was the only way they could come close within those rules. And they're being honest, but City's not honest.
Well, to Ryan's point a couple weeks ago, it really it sets a bad precedent if it ends up being just this non-transparent in the end, as it applies to the other clubs, including Chelsea.
Yeah. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, the City thing is a mess, because City will they will make it painful litigation. And yeah, like you said, there are these other clubs, like Chelsea included. They audited the previous ownership and were like, "Hey, there's this problem," and they're all going to get penalized, and City will just drag this out. And yeah, they did. Like it is like well documented that they lied about what they were doing. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Jadon Sancho is balling for Borussia Dortmund. He drew a penalty in his last match, assisted a goal in his previous match, and the coach of Dortmund came out and said that he's been practicing great. He puts as much effort in as anyone else, and it's starting to make Ten Hag look a little more ridiculous than he already did. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Or
we look at it collectively, right? Between like the impact he's made immediately there, the whole nonsense of the other background and drama and bullshit at United, right? And then we've got videos of other people practicing at United, and it looks like me practicing when I was 12 years old.
There's just I haven't seen that, but I believe
there's such a there's
one knee brace on.
Yeah, exactly. And like Antony's too bored to even do ball rolls. That's how bad their practice is. But it all just comes together to highlight very clearly that Ten Hag's a big problem there.
Well, it doesn't even make sense that at United, with the position he was put in, Sancho, that he clearly was putting in work, because he was able to come into these matches immediately. If you had been like just not practicing and not playing soccer for the length of time that he apparently was, he wouldn't have been match fit the way he clearly is. So like the proof is like evident that Ten Hag was out of his fucking mind here. But yeah, good for Sancho for pushing for this. And now they want to sell him to Saudi. They've offered him and Antony to Saudi Arabia to try to move them on. And
Antony
like,
go to Saudi Arabia
would
be like a cherry.
Yeah,
he'd fit right in there.
Yeah, the only concern there is that I think he'd have too much fun, and I'm not okay with that.
You could really let loose there.
Yeah. Oh, wait, those are the laws here? Oh, sign me up.
Oh, fuck. Holy shit. I want the listeners to know.
By the end of the year, by the way, guys, hot take. Ten Hag is out.
If he makes it to the end of the year, I'd be shocked. Yeah, but he is out. Ratcliffe will not tolerate any of those.
Sorry, Ryan, I interrupted. What were you saying?
I was going to say to the listeners that we are aware of the weird shit that Sadio Mane has done, but Luke has advised me to not talk about it.
my lawyers have advised me not to speak on this matter.
Luke, just for the record, I am not a lawyer.
Because when I speak, I get in trouble.
Yeah, Luke has borderline begged me to not talk about the Sadio Mane matter. But,
I think that child brides are fucked up things, just for context for the
world. I hope his wife does well on her high school exams for finals.
You're talking about Sadio Mane.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, just to be clear, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, best of luck to her. They're the happy couple.
It's complicated, it feels like.
Yeah. Please respect their culture.
I hope he doesn't come back to the UK.
Oh God. Yeah.
Man, I feel like Sadio Mane is one that's like, damn, like he really did like. He was like, fuck Europe. Yeah. He was like, I don't need this fucking place anymore. These fucking Germans.
Yeah. He's a weird dude.
Weird guy. Freak of a footballer, but.
Yeah. So, how much of this do we want to run through? We are at... we're at like right about an hour now. We can probably hit all this. Man U poached the chief football officer, Omar Barada, I think is how you say his last name, from Man City as their new CEO. And that's, I believe, a Ratcliffe move. I found this really interesting. Like, Man City is a very well-run club that is doing well.
Not just a club, an organization.
Yeah.
The opposite of United.
So, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like as much as I'll talk shit about the way City has gone about their business, they are well run. Like that is a machine that they have set up over there. And so them poaching this guy is huge news. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. Like the fact that I couldn't have a lower opinion of Man United right now. Like it's a club that has been decomposing in front of our eyes for a decade. And for them to be able to draw this level of a executive from Man City, I don't know. Like, part of me is like, is this guy, Omar Barada, is he like, the party's over, these charges are gonna like really like dick things up here, and I'm gonna like go over to Man United. At least they're like a global powerhouse, or like, I don't know. Like this was pretty shocking to me.
I guess my angle is that I think you can see it that's one way I could see it. The other is, it's going from being, so I'm assuming chief football officer is below CEO, or is
that's accurate?
So I'm assuming this is a promotion.
Yeah.
So
it's a promotion. But...
I'm sure he was stuck behind whoever was at City, right? So like sometimes you kind of have to put yourself out there in maybe a less than ideal situation, because the good jobs are the ones that are much harder to get, right? And so, they still have an economic resources beyond the financial fair play situation in the long term. So maybe he sees it as a strategic kind of career move for himself.
Yeah.
I also think this signals that Ten Hag is going to be out of the door, because when you put someone like this in place, they're going to go about with a sporting director, and that sporting director is going to want to be aligned with the priorities of the manager. And at the moment, it seems like there's no priorities at all. And it's just like, I just want to purchase all the players that I had Ajax, and it's going to be okay. But I think that this is the end of it for him. I hope it works out for United. A lot to do, from infrastructure of the club to obviously the playing staff. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
hope
And
he
City is one
hope
of
he
the
brings
most.
his shovel.
Yeah. Shit shoveler. That was funny. I also think that City is one of the most impressive organizations in world football. You know, the club structure they have, from France, Japan, to the US, to the Premier League, not necessarily in that order.
They're at the top of La Liga right now.
Yeah. And is that Girona?
Girona,
Yeah, tied or lost to Atletico. But yeah, it's real interesting. Hopefully things change at United.
Yeah.
Jose
Mourinho sacked.
United, end of time.
Yeah. Mourinho was sacked. What? I mean,
well, here's the question. Bets on who does he take over for the season? Like who's more likely, United or Chelsea?
I don't think Poch goes anywhere.
Definitely.
Right.
Although I did hear,
under the assumption that he does. Where
is he more likely to take over for Man United or Chelsea? I think Man United.
What do you think?
You think Chelsea?
Derek?
Oh, I said Man United. There's
if I had to pick one of them, Mourinho loves Man United.
I don't think he's going to go to either, but I would say Chelsea.
Oh, I don't think he's going to go to either. Right?
Yeah,
if I had to pick
Chelsea,
one, though,
I would say Chelsea.
I don't think he'll do a third stint.
The CEO that United just hired was a executive at Barcelona before City. It's never going to hire Mourinho. And Todd Bowley makes a lot of fucking stupid decisions. He's fucking basically doing coke in Club 52 in the 1980s with Chelsea right now.
It's the same. Todd Bowley has been a doofus about a lot of things, but he got rid of Tuchel because of Tuchel's attitude and unwillingness to work and collaborate with him and the group that he was bringing in. It's he's the level of firebrand that Mourinho is, and there's no way that Bowley would do that again. I don't think.
So the answer is he's not going to either.
He's not.
What a
he's
fucking
not going
stupid question, Luke.
Yeah. He's not going to go to either club, but
U.S. men's national team
end up. Dude, Rome is beat up over
they're sad
over this. Yeah, they are not happy with this sacking. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's probably Italian clubs that would be in for him. He'll go somewhere.
I think he should be a national team coach. I think he'd be really good at it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
He's a tournament.
There's no way he'd
manager.
come to the United States. There's no
Dude,
way.
He's coming. He's coming. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so
2000,
dear listeners,
come on. Hot take. Jose Mourinho is the U.S. men's national team coach in 2026.
Yeah. This is Ivan Toney had your call on Ivan Toney had a foundation in reality. This was not Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna read through this. I don't know. This was interesting to me, but I don't know that there's much to comment on here, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. And if you guys have any thoughts, chime in. But Napoli's president is under investigation for false accounting around the Osimhen deal. He signed him for 71 million from Lille, only paid 50 mil. I assume these are euro figures. Since the deal included 4 players valued at 21 mil, and it lists the 4 players, but all of them, or I guess 3 of them, disappeared basically immediately from world football activities, world soccer activities. So apparently there's some sketchy shit here where I don't know why Lille would be okay with it. I don't really understand why Lille would be okay with donating 21 million to this deal by accepting these players. Yeah, I don't know. But he's done something with his books.
In Italian soccer. Shit's
happening. Yeah. So yeah, there's some investigation going on there, and I was also like a little surprised at the fee that they paid for Osimhen, because the rumor is that his release clause is like 105 million euros. So like if they paid 71 for him, that's like not a huge return. I assume they got him for a lot cheaper than that, but yeah. And then the last thing I have on here, Chelsea plays Middlesbrough in the second leg of the Carabao Cup tomorrow, and I think they're going to lose. And I'm going to be so sad. This is such an important match for them so that they can win silverware potentially and secure some European football soccer for next season.
How the hell am I more bullish on Chelsea for this game than you are?
I don't know, man.
I'm uncomfortable with my role here.
They dropped the first leg 1-0 to Middlesbrough, and now they're at home at the Bridge. But the injuries, so no Malo Gusto, no Nkunku. The biggest loss is that Nicholas Jackson is at AFCON. And yeah, I don't know. Like, it's going to be, I don't even know who they're going to play. Like, Levi Colwill got cooked in the first leg of this. They're going to have to play him on the left because I guess they could put Chilwell there now. They better put Chile there. And then I guess they move Colwill to center, and then
no, Colwell's playing out left because Chilwell's going to be playing left wing. Remember,
dude, if he plays.
Let's go!
I'll be all in on Mourinho back to Chelsea if he puts Chile up.
All right,
left.
Shut it down, Luke.
Ryan's gonna need the vibrator, Derek.
Dude, yeah.
Charge the batteries.
God.
Well, the hard part for Chelsea here is that 3 days later, they play Villa in the FA Cup. So I think
we're not beating Villa.
I think Chelsea should beat Middlesbrough by more than a goal. But if they were to lose that game and then go into the fourth round of the FA Cup and lose, that's when Pochettino could hypothetically come into a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
that would be.
So I started to talk about this earlier, but I think it was David Ornstein, which is like basically whatever he says is gold.
The Athletic,
as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, he said that Pochettino. I think it was him, but he said that Pochettino was given targets to hit by December, and Chelsea's been on quietly been on a bit of a tear and have improved their league position, and more importantly, and like teams above them have been like Brighton dropping points today is good for them. Newcastle keeps dropping points.
West Ham.
West Ham. So he basically hit the marks that they set for him, and he is going to be there through the end of the season, and they'll evaluate then.
Unless they lose to Middlesbrough and Aston Villa out of both cups with no Champions League on the horizon.
that would be so bad. Dude, getting eliminated from both those cups right now with the bloated squad they have would be so bad.
And the morale of the team, man, that would be a rough place to be.
Yep. Yeah.
I think we win 2-0. Broya and Palmer score. There's my prediction.
Who? Broya?
Yep.
Broya can play against championship teams. It's just not clear he can play against Premier League teams.
Correct.
I've been really unimpressed with him. Like,
who hasn't?
Yeah.
I'll also say Aston Villa is a team that Chelsea set up the way Pochettino plays. They should be geared to be more competitive in that game than maybe we would think. I actually think Middlesbrough in some ways is the harder game to win. Because
especially without Nkunku.
Is Nkunku out for both?
I don't know. They just waited. So initially they said he picked up a minor niggle in training, and that he'd be back. Like they thought it was nothing, And now they said he's back in training, but he's not ready for Middlesbrough, is what I think Pochettino said. So nothing, they haven't weighed in on the Villa match, but I don't know. He's more like Villa is going to play soccer with Chelsea, and that's when Chelsea's okay. Like they're good at turning the ball over and like transitioning very quickly. Yeah, they're going to face a low block, and without the creativity of Nkunku, I don't know where they get creativity from.
That all being said, I do think they beat Middlesbrough and then lose to Villa. Their focus is going to be on Middlesbrough. There's a chance to win a trophy. You go at it.
Yeah. What would you know about that?
I don't actually know anything.
All right. Well, that's all I have. You guys have anything else?
Nope.
Come on, you Spurs.
Who do you play this weekend?
Man City.
Oh.
Why are you drawing attention to that?
We'll lose, but it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Hey, we tied last time at City. So
Werner shows up for City.
It's the exact kind of player the City hates to play against, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
It'll be fun because it's at home. We tied them at City, so there's a chance. But I think, especially if De Bruyne plays, it's going to be rough.
Maybe Kyle Walker's baby mama drama will be an equalizer in that one with Timo.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Really?
I saw some wild headline today that the headline was literally Kyle Walker upsets pregnant wife and mistress by hooking up with third woman.
Looks like somebody's ready for a ticket to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, apparently he just has I don't know if any of this is true. But I think it was on the soccer subreddit. Someone posted an article about this, and I don't know what publication it was, but apparently he just has a mistress and everybody's cool with it. But then he cheated on the both of them. All of this could be made up. I spent no time verifying this, but yeah, it was a pretty wild.
We made it
story.
pretty clear last episode. This is not a news source, nor are we even trying to provide any sense of truth or realism.
Nope.
So,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I would love for Spurs to beat City. I just always root against City, basically. So we'll be aligned for once.
Then. See, I was right. In my last statement.
I'm not going to say that, but
yeah. All right, that's a pod. We are on all social media. I've been really bad about posting on there because I've been out of town, but we're on social media. We appreciate the interactions there. Please like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this, and there's a link to our Discord in the show description. And
hey Ryan, don't tumble down the hill, okay?
I need to.
I'm going to be watching out for him from now on.
No, don't watch him. Just let him fall. Ryan, don't hurt yourself, okay?
Yeah, we all have cameras and soundboards now, so sometime in the next week or so, we'll kind of up the quality of this thing. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the Football Yanks podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. We'll see you next time.